Hello.
Hi.
And we are live. Hello out there, ladybugs and yellow jackets. Welcome to the very first Spill the Tea. I am Fairy Princess Lolly, your host, and we have gathered here today via the Itsy Bitsy Spiderweb, the worldwide Itsy Bitsy Spiderweb, with several of my friends, because we're going to have afternoon tea with you guys. So Dewdrop, Stormy the Fairy, Camellia Sinensis, and Justinain Blanc, and I will please allow them to introduce themselves to you one at a time. Please remember, if you're out there and you're joining us today, we would love it if you would just smash that thumbs up and share button as we get going. And Dewdrop, I will let you go first. Say hello.
Hello. Hi, I'm Dewdrop the Angel. I just recently came down to the Pacifica realm to visit. I just felt a calling that, the world needed a little bit more magic and decided to stop by. I'm really good friends with Stormy the Fairy. She's kind of the one who introduced me to the Pacifica realm and all the magical things inside it. I'll let her take the floor.
Oh, thanks, Dewdrop. Hi, I'm Stormy. As she said, we live here in the Pacifica realm, and me and my frolic of fairies, we like to gather trinkets and magical items, and we've been supplying the world with more magic, and that's what brought Dewdrop down. Was she sensed the world was ready for more magic, so we're just trying to spread the love.
My lady Camellia.
Oh, why, thank you. You're very kind. I'm Camellia Sinensis, and I am the tea lady, and I travel wherever anyone needs a good cup of tea. No matter when, no matter where, my tea and I can be there.
And from what land do you hail?
Oh, goodness. Originally? Well, I originally hail from England, just right outside of Aylesbury.
Appropriate.
A lovely
old
place.
World.
Very old world. Some of the standing stones really have rude things to say, but I won't get into that.
If the walls could talk, right? And Justinian. Oh, hello.
Justinian?
Yes, Justinian, can you hear me?
Come in.
Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Uh-oh, I don't think Justinian can hear us.
Oh, no. Did we get gnomes in the wire?
As well, I believe. Can you hear us, Justinian?
Am I back? Tell me I'm back.
Yes,
Am I back?
you are indeed. Yes, you are.
Oh.
There's a lot of rock to go through there.
I blame goblins, but we don't have any of them.
All right. Wait.
Is it my turn?
Yes, it is your turn to introduce yourself.
I am Justinain Blanc, Esquire. I am a shape-shifting Kokak, and my most common form is this lovely one, which is High Mountain Jackalope. I am the historian and story collector of the 7 realms of the underground, and I am the lore keeper and chronicler of seen and unseen trooping fairy tales and true legends. I also am the troubadour and the scholar scribe for His Majesty Jareth, the 13th and current king of the goblins, and I hail from the 7 realms of the underground and the goblin kingdom. Thank you.
Wow.
It is our pleasure to have you with us, of course. I'm very excited to have all of you here today. Thank you, everybody, for coming to tea.
Thank you.
So, I don't know about you guys, but I did bring a very special tea with me today, and I presume that all of you did as well. And I am curious now to know what teas you all have with you. Would you like to go first, Madam Tea Lady?
Oh, why, thank you. Yes. The tea I'm drinking today is by Harney and Sons, a very respectable old firm, and it is the Victorian London Fog, an absolutely delightful blend.
It sounds like a black tea. Is that true?
It is. It is a black tea with notes of vanilla and lavender,
Oh,
and
that
it's
sounds
quite refreshing. Yes.
very good. All right then. Justinian, how about you?
Oh, the tea that I have today is in a lovely cup that has clocks on it. I have a fondness for clocks. And
Might we see your cup? Can you hold it close? I shall make you big so that we can see it.
Ooh.
It is
Oh,
utterly
that's
fitting.
fabulous.
Yes, it's a Vienna French cup. It was a gift from His Majesty Jareth because I do love clocks. The tea that I am drinking is a combination of several, so I can never guarantee the taste. It has rosebuds in it from a company by the name of Phoenix Tea, and these are actual rosebuds and they smell amazing.
Ooh.
It is also a blend with honeybush or honeybud, which is also excellent. I like dry leaf, and a Wen Sheng Bohang. So
Oh,
it's an
lovely.
oolong. I have 2 oolongs.
That is a
And
fun word
then-
to say.
yes, oolong. And then I have dragon well, so it adds a punch to the flavor. I do like a note of dragon well in my things. And then my final and my most favorite that I add to every single tea is my High Mountain Oolong that is from Four Seasons Spring. And
So you
it is also,
blend all of those together into one tea pouch for your tea.
oh yes, the best teas are blends, especially
That's
the dry leaf.
lovely.
Oh, I'm okay now.
That sounds like an amazing blend. I get mine pre-blended, I confess.
Me too.
Stormy, I see you over there. What are you pouring?
So I don't remember what this one's called. Mine's not quite as fancy. It's from a wonderful place called Winco, and you can get bulk, like honey. I get so much honey and peanut butter and tea. And this one is an Earl Grey with
Ooh.
flowers in it. I know there's some lavender for sure, and
Oh,
I'm not sure what else is in here, but it's very floral and it tastes amazing. So I'm gonna put
I love Earl Grey and lavender. It is one of my favorite tea combinations.
me too.
What are you putting on top there?
So,
Oh, is that the tea canister?
yeah, this is my pretty little tea canister. It's so shiny.
oh, that's a very nice skin.
And I love my tea. It's got, oh, this one doesn't have a dragonfly on it, but the cups do.
Oh, those are really nice. I love those.
Oh, they're charming.
Tea. And then I have cream and honey. Well, coconut milk technically, but you know.
Close enough.
How does one milk the coconuts? I've always
Very
wondered.
carefully and with a large hammer, I think. I've never done it myself.
I think that Gunther Hammerhands can just crush the coconut with his bare troll hands.
I would believe it.
So, Dewdrop.
So I live off of pure sugar. I can't live without it. So I got this sweet tea and then I added like 4 spoons of my own sugar in this little flour cup.
Goodness.
And then to go with it, a plate full of chocolate.
Oh,
Here, the cup.
She's ready.
And as you can tell, like, it's pretty dark. There's some ice cubes in there because I like it watered down and really sugary because I cannot handle bitter. Live off of sweets. And then usually I'd have like cookies or something to maybe even go with it, but I was kind of lazy, so I just grabbed a bunch of candy.
Oh my goodness.
Well, it is,
But
you
it's a
know, the
healthy
afternoon time. It's
breakfast.
catnap time. A healthy
Yes.
breakfast of sugar and tea.
That's how angels
Yes,
stay so
I just
sweet.
miss donuts. That's all.
Catnip, my favorite.
I love it. So I guess I'm going last then. And I think that earlier when we were speaking off to the side there, Justinain, you were so correct. We Fae do love our pomp and circumstance. So I have my whole little setup, and I'm excited to share it with you guys today. So my tea that I have is actually from a local tea maker, and the name of the tea is Fairy Zest, and it is from Rabbit's Pantry. That is the name of the tea maker. And
Yeah,
I'll
very
show
nice.
it. I guess maybe I can make myself, I don't normally make myself big, but I will show it to you guys so you can see. And it comes in this very pretty little jar.
I'm gonna check them out
Lovely.
because you know I love bunnies.
Rabbit
Yes.
blend. I'll be trying that
They
one.
have so many fun blends. I'll tell you what's in it. It says that it is, it's very tiny. Oh my goodness. Or I think I need a jackalope's monocle to read this tiny print. It says organic hand packed tea, and then the flavor is, where's the flavor? I know it's on here. I was just looking. I was just looking at this earlier, and I have instructions. I have what's inside? Hibiscus, lemon peel, lavender, and orange, and then a super, super tiny little word that I can't read. Orange peel. Orange peel. For some reason, it seems like the words got smaller.
Is it the black tea?
No, this is actually a green tea that it looks like, and it's I don't know if you guys can see inside of there, but you can see that there's the hibiscus, there's some loose lavender in there. There we go.
That looks
I know I'm
lovely.
slowly rotating myself away. Yes. The magic mirror is backwards from you know, so I always get the sides confused. So that was my fun tea for today that I got, and here's what it looks like. I'll show you because I just made a little cup. I don't want to spill it. It's quite full, but it's sort of reddish, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah.
that would be the hibiscus.
And
Yes,
I love
that's a
hibiscus.
sweet one.
And your
And
cup
it's
is
so
lovely.
Oh, thank you. Yes, this is actually, so it's got a little teeny tiny chip in it because it's actually an antique cup that I got. I don't know. Humans are always throwing things away that I think are amazing and magical, and they have all of these garage sales and estate sales and strange market sales where they're offloading their things. And so I got this really cute. It actually, the flowers on it remind me of a fine Italian paper. So, and then I have, not dissimilar to you, I have almond milk too. I'm going to taste it first because I always like to get the first taste and then determine whether or not I should add cream and sugar and maybe how much, depending on how tart the tea is, because I confess that I too sort of like things on the sweeter side. So, but this is my sugar, is my little bunny shaker.
Oh my gosh, I need it.
Yes, the sugar is in there, and I don't know if you guys can see it. I'll try to put it in my hand a little. It's blue.
Oh, how fun!
So I learned many years ago as
that way you'll never lose your sugar.
Ooh.
Yes, and the way that this actually came about, as opposed to having the cute little, sugar, because I do have a bunch of those that we use for huge tea parties when we are at the fair or festival, where the veil is thin and the worlds are blending. And we have the fairy hollow there, and one of the things that we often do are tea parties. And that's how the sugar shaker came to be a thing, is because human younglings, not being raised in such a way as they are familiar with tea, if you give them a spoon and a bowl of sugar, they
What Dewdrop does.
yes.
It becomes messy, yes.
And so in order to try to mitigate that, I started putting sugar shakers on the table so that they could put their sugar in their tea without coming away, covered in sticky. So that's how that became a thing. And I also, so this was loose tea, as you saw, and I used my own bag to make it. And this spoon here came from Queen Mary's Tea. It's in the Emerald City. It's actually a tea house. And it is, I think it says right on here, one pot of perfect tea is what it says on the spoon. And so she has a little... Yes, and then here it tells you the instructions. So 1 scoop of this is supposed to be the perfect cup of tea, and then 3 to 4 in order to make like a pot, right? A big pot of tea. So, so that is what she calls, Queen Mary calls, the perfect scoop. And that is what I use to measure the tea when I put it into the bags. So now I'm going to take my first sip because I've been talking and talking and talking. So, so I am curious to hear what news you guys are bringing from your realms today.
I have a fun little thing that happened to me. Was it yesterday or the day before? So I heard some funny sounds coming outside my door, and I just ignored it at first, but then I kept hearing it, and I looked out, and there were these 2 pigeons just hanging outside. One was on our mat, one was on the little light, and I opened my door, and I'm like, shooed them away, because I don't want a bunch of pigeon droppings, but they kept coming back, and I'm just like, why do you... I'm blessed, thank you, that you like my house so much, but I don't want you pooping all over the place. And then my fiance goes to take out the trash, and he opens the door, and there's a little egg sitting on our doormat.
Oh, goodness.
A pigeon egg?
Huh?
A pigeon egg.
A pigeon egg, yes. Just sitting there on the mat, and they weren't even sitting on it. They were just away from us, but watching. And we're like...
Did they have a nest?
No! No, there's no nest. There's no resemblance of anything of a nest. They just were hanging out there that day, left us an egg, and, he was taking out the trash, and we're like, why would you leave it right where we've stepped, right where our giant feet go? Why would you do this? And so
pigeons are rather special in the bird kingdom.
Yeah, I noticed they don't seem to be the brightest, but maybe I just was a little offended too that they would just drop their kid on our doorstep and leave because they haven't come back.
Yes, that's rude. That's rude.
They never came back.
It's the wings. They mistook you for one of their own species. It happens all the time.
Yes.
I bundled it up in some fabric, and I made a little nest, and we put it to the side, and I just leaving it there for a few days, see if they come and check on it. If not, then I guess I'm gonna give it over to Princess Lolly. She's got some use for it.
I did. I asked for the pigeon egg. I have a friend who gives me his lovebird eggs. He is actually gets way off in the kingdom of grass, and which involves places, I think that by human cartography they call it North Dakota, And but if you were to ask me, it is the land of barrenness and ice, because it is pretty much flat and cold all the way across. But he has lovebirds, and their eggs they're itty bitty. They're like this big. I don't even know. I'm looking for a size comparison. Here's a small Christmas ornament, and so I guess compared to that, they're like this big, like itty bitty little eggs, and they are super cute. So they lay them all the time, and if they didn't pull them out of the nest, then they would have more lovebirds than they know what to do with. So they do have to take them out of the nest, because they actually have several lovebirds, and an entire room in his home is dedicated to being the place that the birds can just fly. They have all kinds of branches up along the perimeter of the room, and the birds just fly around free. And then they do have cages, and then that's where they go inside their cages and make their nests and whatnot. But it's actually really fun to go in there. And I didn't even know what a lovebird was until then. It looks like kind of a tiny little parrot, almost a little a parrot-looking parakeet. So they're, with the green, real bright green feathers and the colorful under feathers. Just they look like little itty bitty parrots, and I didn't know that.
That sounds adorable.
They're very vibrant birds. They're very vibrant birds.
Sing. Yeah, and they sing so much. They were so friendly, and wanted to be on his shoulders, and were chirping and tweeting the whole time. So I would love to have a bird, but I fear that with all of my adventuring and travel into the human world to do the festivals and bring the fairy hollow, for the younglings, that I would not have the ability to care for a bird, and then leaving it alone for several days with my cats. All 5 of them.
That might not end well. At least not for the bird.
Yes, so they are fine to be left alone with the sugar glider, because the cats and sugar gliders actually make friends with each other, because the sugar glider is a marsupial animal, and so not in the rodent family like a squirrel. And I'm not saying that rodents are bad or that rats or mice are bad. The word rodent always inspires in my mind like dirty rodents, but that is not what I'm saying. That's just the name of those creatures. That's their family name. And So anyway, a sugar glider is a marsupial. It's a pouch animal that has their babies like a kangaroo. And so it doesn't have rodent smell to cats. And therefore, cats basically like to play with them and be friends, as opposed to eat them.
Oh,
that's astounding. I never knew that.
Yeah, their natural enemies are snakes and birds. So the bird and the sugar glider would have to stay away from each other, I think.
How
I see in the wings that we have a visitor, Serenettle. I just got to talking about sugar gliders. Serenettle, well, let me bring them in.
Hello, sir.
Hello. Can you hear me all right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yes, Serenettle, your magic mirror is coming through just perfect.
Excellent. And I'm also using a new device that I've attached to my head that should hopefully cut down on ambient sound from around me.
Yes,
really
I think that Count Morbid was saying that proper antler adjustment assists with reception from the realms here onto the worldwide itty bitty spider.
And I see we have our other jackalope here. That's exciting. Hello, pleased to meet you.
It is a pleasure, and to meet you.
It's just so exciting to see another one of our people. There are so few of us that to have both of us in one place, it's a special treat. I'm so excited.
I don't want to make any implications or innuendos, but there are 2 of you, and it seems like you guys are multiplying. Is there some secret gossip here that we don't know about?
I have not met this jackalope before today, other than seeing their words appear on our last live stream, and cannot speak to where we may be coming from. A piece of our folklore that you may not know is that we're not necessarily as we'll say numerous and good at creating our new numbers as our rabbit kin. Yes, we're not as prolific as our rabbit kin, and part of that is because I will neither confirm nor deny this, but it is rumored that we only, shall we say, make more of ourselves when lightning strikes.
Very rare then.
Yep. Now, wait a minute. I think that might not be as rare as one thinks, because I seem to recall Ion the Leprechaun telling me at some point that around the world lightning strikes every 7 seconds or something like that.
Yes, but a jackalope would have to be in the place where the lightning is striking, at least according to this rumor.
Two of them. Two of them.
And indeed, two of us.
that makes better sense, because I was thinking either rabbits are way more off the chart than originally anticipated.
If you take a look at my garden come June, then I would vouch for that. The little laggards.
I fiercely defend my rabbit kin, but they are in fact far more numerous than we jackalopes are. It's just that they are not quite as good at defending themselves. We have natural weaponry that at our disposal that our smaller kin do not.
You know, I still would just like to say in my own defense that I was not attacking Peter Rabbit.
It awfully sounded like you were.
I was just asking questions. This is I know that I like the story on my questions.
Yeah.
I do. I asked a lot of questions, and that is what my fairy queen mom taught me, to always ask questions. So what brings you by this afternoon?
So,
I did not expect you to be here.
Yes, I'm afraid I cannot stay for very long, but and I'd made some plans that were originally meant to be at the Beaster Market and the Glow Garden party that was coming up. Given all of the chaos currently in the land of real, I'm told that we're moving that event to be in a more magic mirror-y kind of format. Is that correct?
Yes, we are actually going to have the Beaster Market Glow Garden across the hedge, so across the Discord hedge, as it were. So
excellent.
That is where, yes, and I'm excited for it. So we've been brainstorming all over the whole weekend about how to make that conversion happen from having an in fairy meeting to a virtual fairy gathering, not dissimilar to what the way that we've gathered here today using our magic mirrors. So
excellent.
Yes.
Well,
So
I had written a statement with a proposed idea. I'm not entirely sure how it will translate. Oh my gosh, hold on. I'm very distracted. There's an adorable little over with Stormy Faye.
Yes. Good.
Hello, little friend, little cousin. My goodness. Oh, you have little wings. Aren't you cute?
Good boy.
Oh my goodness.
This
It
is
gives me when I squeeze.
This is my little bean. Come here.
Hello.
This is Titan.
Hello, nice to meet you, friend.
Hello, Titan.
You are just the cutest. And see, that is how fairy relations with rabbits should be, Lolly. You could take some notes.
Yes. Although everything I own does have a nibble mark in it. I will say that much.
A nibble mark somehow seems so much more pleasant than cat gack in your shoe.
It is.
Yes. I mean,
for sure.
they're just the trade-off for all of the adorableness and bunny snuggles that you have access to.
Yes, when he lets me. You know how bunnies are with being held. He'll tolerate it. Do you want another snack? Come on. Want a snack?
Oh, how could anyone resist that offer?
A snack? Come on. Up here.
You're funny.
He may resent having to
Aren't
perform
very.
for his snack.
I just love how his little head is swiveling back and forth, and I see the snack. I see the snack.
Favorite.
And his adorable little twitchy nose, it is just the best. The best. Is he some kind of dwarf rabbit? His ears are very short.
He's a Netherland dwarf. He's 2 years
Excellent.
old.
How long do they live?
They can live 10 plus years. Back in the day, it used to only be 7 because we didn't have as much information as we do now. And they're fragile. They're different than a cat or a dog. So you do have to probably take care of them. So they live longer now that we have the internet.
Yes, I grew up with a small rabbit cousin. His name was Scamper, and he was a dwarf crossed with some unknown species. So he got a little bigger, and his ears were a little longer. But he lived to the ripe old age of, gosh, it was like 12. Yeah, he was an old bunny. He was one of my best friends for many, many years.
They make great friends. They're so sweet.
Okay, now that I've been thoroughly distracted by adorable bunny appearance, I had prepared a statement, a letter that I had written for the various Fae of the realm that I'd like to go ahead and read, and then maybe we can talk about how we could adjust the idea to work with the Discord hedge, perhaps.
Okay.
Yes, please do.
Excellent. I will go ahead and start with reading the letter then. Bear with me while I bring it up over here. All right. Every Fae, winter is ending and spring will soon be upon us. In celebration of Earth Day and Ostara, and as the closest thing to a lagomorph that the courts have available, I have decided to propose an egg hunt at the Beaster Market in April. There will be 2 ways to win prizes in this hunt. The first and most straightforward being that a prize will be given to whoever turns in the most eggs. But to make the game more interesting, I've devised a more personalized approach. I invite every participant to decide upon a prize that they would be willing to gift to another hunter and to decorate a personalized egg in whatever colors or designs suit you. If a hunter should find your egg, they will receive the prize that you have offered up. Prize cards associated with the eggs you found will be revealed at the end of the evening. The sort of prizes can be as varied and creative as we ourselves are. Are you a crafter who can make unique or interesting items? Do you perhaps have some skill or talent that you'd be willing to employ? Are you a healer or a fortune teller, a bard or a bodyguard? Any of these things might be a good prize for the hunt. If you can't think of anything, you could, of course, just offer an undesignated favor or boon to be owed to the finder of your egg, though, as we Fae know, such things carry risk. Who knows what someone might ask for if you didn't decide upon a prize in advance? Each hunter will be allowed to cash in only 1 personalized egg, because we should share the wealth. And of course, bartering of eggs between hunters is allowed and encouraged. If you aren't as skilled at finding, skill in negotiating may still win you the day. Think on what kind of prize you would like to offer and to decorate an egg, and I hope to be able to join you at the Beaster Market in April to join in the hunting myself. Yours, Sir Nettle of the Unseelie, sworn knight to Count Morbid III, Barony of Griffin's Vale, and Duchy of Dragon's Rest.
Well, I love that idea. And I would definitely be willing to contribute a personal egg with a special prize in it. So I will raise my hand and be first on to do that. Stormy?
Of course, we'll be offering an egg. Whether or not I can attend, I will throw an egg into the mix.
Okay. Well, yes, it is this Saturday at, we don't have the time actually because the original time was going to be in the evening, but now that we're going to be across the hedge doing this instead of live, I have not actually adjusted the time for that, but it will be this afternoon, this Saturday on the 11th. So I have an idea since we're not going to be in person with one another, perhaps instead of making a physical egg, we can either draw, paint, find a picture of, perhaps if we have some computer savvy fairies out there who like to wheel and deal in Muggle technology, they can make a graphic design egg or a digitally painted egg. I'm not entirely sure if those are the same thing or different things, to be honest. But you know, something along those lines, and then we'll have, you know, if you either submit a picture of the egg or the drawing that you've done, then we'll have a picture of it, and that is in a virtual format that we can use in the hedge to represent each person's egg. Do you think that would be a good idea?
Yeah, I think that would be a bit easier. I guess my remaining question would be how we hide them in the Discord hedge and how people are going to be finding them.
So one idea that I had with, and I discussed it with Gunther Hammerhands, Baron Hammerhands, and Ion the Leprechaun last night, because I have been pondering this. But one idea that I was having is, as you know, on the other side of the hedge, there are all kinds of magical places. There's the Afterglow Vista and the Bubblegum Wall, et cetera, et cetera. And what I was thinking was that in each of these places, at least one personal egg would be hidden. And by hidden, what I actually mean is, since you obviously cannot hide that, right? Like under a bush. What I excuse me. What I mean is, we would put a puzzle, and the answer to the puzzle would be the password to unlock a web page where that egg and the prize associated with that egg is then visible. So if you go to each of those places, there will be different puzzles or some kind of maybe a riddle or something that has to be figured out, or even maybe a series of them. And one of them will lead to the personal egg. So you could go into, does that make sense what I'm saying? So
it does.
Yeah, so once you're on the other side of the hedge, for example, if you go into the 6-foot stubby hole, there will be a series of challenges or puzzles otherwise. And as they get solved, one of them will have the answer that is the password to the personal egg. And if you have solved it correctly, then when you try to unlock the personal egg, then it will unlock. Yeah, there it is. And if you haven't, then you know you haven't, and it's still up for grabs. And that way everybody can go and try. And as people successfully, as everybody successfully completes the puzzle or the challenge or whatever, then they will earn a little egg, unless, of course, they have stumbled upon the particular challenge that is associated with the personal egg. What do you think that would be a good way to do it?
Yes. If, for someone who's technically able to do such things, when it comes to working on the worldwide spider web, I am an excellent tap dancer with 8 left feet.
I actually think that must be quite talented, because I pretty much feel like 2 left feet is quite enough for me.
I only have 2. The results are the same as if I have 8, and there's a lot of scraping and falling and thudding and bandages and such.
But you have understood my proposal for adjusting to the virtual realm?
Yes.
I was going to propose something similar, actually, riddles or other challenges that could be completed to earn the eggs instead of the normal of finding them. Although, should we be able to meet physically next year, I think that doing this in the physical realm would still be a great deal of fun.
Oh, yes.
Well,
yes.
I had already begun the acquiring of an enormous amount of foliage foliage and paint that shows up in a neon glow way, because I was going to paint all of these leaves on the trees so that when we shine lights on them, they glow in the dark, right? So now out in the workshop, there's kind of a mini jungle.
Sounds excellent.
A natural oasis. Ooh.
Yes, so that is sort of a thing that is out there currently. Sarah Nettle, where might our folk contact you if they too, and I think you should twist Count Morbid's rubber arm, want to donate? Oh, I see famous Dana out there. Donate a personal egg. If they want to create a personal egg for the hunt, where should they contact you?
So I will post the letter that I've written to our Book of Faces page, and if people would like to participate and create an egg and link it to me there, that would be the easiest, I think, and most centralized way that everyone would have access to.
Okay, and
does that work for you?
It does, and there is actually a connection link for that is in the low bar here. So that if people want to find the Fae Hollow on Ye Olde Book of Faces. So
I will try to have that up shortly. I will tweak the wording of my letter just a little bit to reflect the new plans that we have, and then I will put it up on the Book of Faces.
Okay, that sounds perfect. So we can follow up and post that announcement on the bubblegum wall too, once you have put it onto the Book of Faces. So
sounds perfect.
Oh, yeah, Justinian.
Your Highness, anything that is posted via the Book of Faces, I will also share on all of the media that my kingdom and I have much access to, if that is a pleasing thought.
Yes, absolutely. The more the merrier, right?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
All right.
The
well,
more eggs
thank you so much.
The more prizes to win. That sounds excellent to me.
Yes.
I already have some lovely ideas.
Excellent. I was hoping that people would get creative with the prizes that they would like to offer. Although I will admit the idea of winning just a favor from someone is very appealing. But I hope for people's sake that not too many are foolish enough to do that.
I've seen enough shows to know what that ends up happening. I don't know about that.
We know enough Fae to know where that's going to go.
Yes.
I don't want to offer such a thing, but I would like to win them. I mean...
Well,
aren't you
were right about the open-endedness, though. I will definitely have a very specific magic item that I offer up. I will not have an open-ended offer. I know too many fairies.
For my tea parties, I make fancy pressed sugars in different colors and flavors. I was thinking of offering an assortment of... Yes, I do. Yes. They're great fun.
What is a pressed sugar?
So you take very, very fine sugar and you dampen it slightly, and you've either colored it or not. And then you pack it into a little mold, and then you let it dry a bit, and then you turn it out, and you have a fancy shape.
Oh,
I had no idea you could even do that. That sounds amazing.
Like a fancier sugar cube is what it sounds like?
Yeah. Yes,
I'm never going to eat sugar cubes after this. I'm going to go for the entire entourage menagerie of animals and some other things as well.
And then dunk them into scalding hot tea. Yes, exactly.
Yes, I make skulls and hearts and little flowers and such things, and they're all in different flavors.
Skulls and flowers sound right up my alley.
Yes.
My lady Sinensis, that sounds amazing. Skulls and flowers. Skulls and flowers.
Yes.
Very unseelie. Skulls and flowers.
That's in fact my entire aesthetic. I have my skull, I have my flowers.
And I'm noticing too, your black ears versus Justinian's white ears. Do we have a Seelie and an unseelie jackalope? Is that what's happening here? Or are you also unseelie? Uh-oh, Justinian's frowning at me. I
thought I had remembered Justinian saying that they were also unseelie. That is part of why I was excited.
I am indeed also unseelie. You can't serve the Goblin King without being unseelie. It just doesn't work out.
Maybe the Goblin King has some gossip or dirt on you. I don't know how you came to be in His Majesty Jareth's service.
I'm just going to drink my tea and let you sort that one out amongst yourselves.
I mean, after all, Count Morbid is sworn to me, and he's unseelie, and I am seelie. And
I don't know how he got into that, and I would love to hear that story at some point, by the way.
Oh, and
how did you manage to snare him?
Well, in the way back time machine, perhaps a story for another time, I think. Because speaking of time, and I wanted to ask you, Justinian, so the clocks that are on your cup, what is there a thing with rabbit/jackalope creatures and clocks in the same way that there is a thing with cats and books?
I think Dewdrop is lagging.
Uh-oh.
You trying to say
or she's in a yoga pose really, really well.
really, really well.
Or she may have run out of sugar.
Oh no!
Yeah.
How can that be possible? She had 10 times more than the rest of us. Oh, yes. I hear you, Dewdrop.
I think a cloud or something's passing over. My worldwide spider web is not seeming to work. My mirror is like completely frozen.
Oh no!
Oh dear.
I'm gonna try restarting this because I don't know if any of you can hear me.
Okay, we can hear you. You're just
right,
we can hear you. Yes.
It is not working. You are all frozen. So I'm gonna say goodbye, guys, and see you in a
okay, Dewdrop.
Right.
Too soon. Too soon.
Yes, the magic trick of turning it off and on again is always the first place to
Powerful
start, right?
magic. Powerful magic.
Fun little charm.
And
So
the
one of
next
the-
most powerful wand is a hammer applied repeatedly to make the thing
Yes, I
do.
think Baron Hammerhands would definitely agree with that. So he has an
Percussive
enormous percussive maintenance. Is that what it is called?
Yes.
I think Tinker might actually find that hilarious too, to be perfectly honest. So I was noting the time, which is what reminded me to ask about the clocks and buns and cats and books.
I don't know how Justinian feels about it, but I have a very poor relationship with time in the sense that I generally do not notice it's passing and have no idea what time it is on the clocks until I look at them. And they seem to move faster or slower, just depending on their mood at the time, and I have no relation.
I don't even know what day it is.
There are a lot of people in the same boat, Stormy.
No, but this
It's
is the
Saturday,
normal
Tuesday,
day.
all week long.
I never know where or why.
It's Justinian.
So I'm a relative of one of the white rabbits and a March hare. And we come from a long line of clock keepers and time catchers, which is exceedingly hard to do. So everything for my particular species of lope is very OCD about organization and scheduling.
Yes.
At a certain time, all the time. So clocks are kind of like both the bane of my existence and the ultimate obsession.
Well, time flies. That's why it's hard to catch, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that, speaking of time, can you believe that it has already been almost an hour? It's 2:53.
Too fast.
Yes. And
I was going to say, I do unfortunately need to hop away here very shortly.
Oh dear.
Okay, feel free to take your leave when you want. Or we had discussed, so this is our first Spill the Tea, and we wanted this to be a fun get together, kind of amidst everything that is going on in the land of real. And so we devised a thing that we are calling the Uplift Award. And we have been taking nominations for the Uplift Award for the last couple weeks. And and decided last night, we had our vote to decide on who should be the recipient of the very first Uplift Award. And it's just a small little thing. It's nothing huge or grandiose, but it is to recognize ordinary folk doing extraordinary things, whatever those things may be. And so I thought that maybe we could announce who we chose this week for the Uplift Award.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay,
I can stay around for that.
Okay. So I have it right here, and I will hold up this week's Spill the Tea Uplift Award we are giving to Fairy Queen Daniette of the Guild of Fae in Meadow City in the Kingdom of Pacifica. And it is from the Fae to you for all that you do. And here is what the award looks like.
Oh, that's so pretty.
So we will be using the snail mail to ship this off to the Fairy Queen. But I think that perhaps, Stormy, you can tell us maybe a little bit about why we chose Fairy Queen Daniette.
Okay, yeah, so ever since this started, the whole craziness with the scary virus and whatnot, she has put all of her work on hold. She normally, she makes wedding dresses and stuff like that. That's her business. And she's been using all her extra fabric and time to make masks to donate to the hospitals. And she has made
That
over
is wonderful.
in just a few weeks. So
all on her own. I have to say, making wedding dresses is a very Fairy Queen type of thing to do.
She's super fabulous.
So I just imagine what her masks look like. They must be amazing, right? Fine materials and beautiful
Very
designs.
grand. You should see her wings. Oh boy.
Oh boy. That I whenever I see wings that are so large, I have wing envy.
I know, it's intimidating.
I do. Well, do you remember was it Pinky the Pixie Queen that was at the Enchanted Forest, and her wings were enormous. They were taller. Tall. Why? They were huge, and they lit up when the night came out. Her wings glowed, and I had such wing envy.
They were gorgeous.
They were. Yes. So So I just wanted to say thank you so much, Fairy Queen Daniette. You are amazing. I don't even know if you are watching or will see this. But if not, you are about to receive a fun letter from all of us, and your award, yes, that's right, loves from us.
Thank you for being amazing and helping out those who are helping others because they need these masks. And we really appreciate you doing that for them.
And so I will say also, if you know of somebody who is just doing uplifting things for the people and communities and world around them, no matter how big or small, if it is the kind of thing that has lifted your spirits and is meaningful to you and is meaningful, you think it's meaningful to others, please, you'll see a little balloon there that's right there in the description and low bar. And if you just click that, it will navigate you right around the worldwide spider web to where we are collecting nominees for the next Uplift Award, because we will be, I will be sending out an invitation again for having tea again in the next couple of weeks. So next Tuesday, Spill the Tea, and we will be doing another Uplift Award then as well. So we just kind of want to keep the good vibes going out there in the land of real. So
yeah. We need it right now.
Right?
Very much so, yes.
So
well, I'm afraid I must take my leave now. It was lovely to see you all, though.
Yes,
and wonderful to see your face, Justinain. It was so good to meet you.
And you as well. And you as well.
I just feel the conspiracies are now going to be beginning.
Oh my.
What?
all mischief is about to start. I mean, I'm just saying, you two unseelie jackalopes, and oh dear, you are both quite clever.
We jackalopes.
What will the kingdom come to?
But Your Highness, I am in service to you. So technically being, whatever shenanigans you set forth for me to do, then I can carry out.
Yes, but you are also a creature of your own free will, and if not under direct guidance, may have the, wherewithal to go out and design your own shenanigans. I know, because Morbid does it all the time. No matter how much keep him busy.
Oh no,
Yes. The sinuses are clean now. Yes.
Yes. So I am. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to this Saturday, and I should say, for anybody out there that may also be viewing with their magic mirrors and joining us for the tea party, if you guys would like to cross the hedge on Discord this Saturday, there is also in a link for that as well, and that will take you to the place on the World Wide Web where the hedge is, and you can pass into the enchanted realms there, and we would love to have you for our egg hunt, Beaster Market and egg hunt, so that everybody is invited. Yay. And I think we are on Tuesday, so it is difficult for me to keep track of the time. Well, like, we're on Saturday, Tuesday, right? And tomorrow is our Fae News segment. So we'll be gathering with Count Morbid and Famous Dana and Ion and Baron Hammerhands, our usual Fae News crew. And Gunther, though, I believe tomorrow, but prior to gathering for the news, is going to be in the hedge, and he will be helping people who are just discovering their magical selves. He will be helping them to kind of come out of their shell. That wasn't really meant to be like a pun because of egg things, but
I'm glad you mentioned it. That went over my head. That's a good one.
But I think he's going to be helping them to come out of their shells and kind of realize their magical elves. Get it? S-E-L selves. Realize their magical their selves a little bit, and so he'll be there to help folks do that if they feel the draw, but they've never done it or they're not quite sure. He will be there, and he's, I think that all of us who have learned how to live amongst, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, but all of us who are kind of integrated amongst the human realm, we've sort of had to learn how to keep that, like how to make that magical self manifest, right?
Yes.
Yes, I'm about out of glamour. Thank you.
Yes. It's sometimes quite difficult. It's very easy if we're just staying in the enchanted realm, but sometimes your magical self gets hidden a little bit, and you have to learn how to bring it out. So I hope to see some new faces. I hope to see some new faces for sure. So
yes,
join us.
Join us. We have cookies, and I don't want to say like the dark side exactly, but there are unseelie, and it's sort of like that.
I'd call it the sparkly side.
The spark. See, yeah, you and I think
you're the sparkly side. And I, of course, get to go back and forth and try to run herd on people that get stuck halfway between.
Now, my lady, I'm so interested in your story because you seem to traverse far more than just the human realm and the enchanted realm. I'm curious, do you also find yourself in other realms as well? And if so, what are they?
Goodness, that would be telling now, wouldn't it? But since it's you, I travel quite exuberantly. Yes, there's the word, exuberantly. Many places. Sometimes I have to pause for a moment and reconnoiter quite carefully and make sure I'm appropriately attired for where I am. So yes, different
I love that word, reconnoiter.
And different places and different fashions, some of which are just dreadful. I'm a respectable English woman. I always have been for lots and lots of years. So some places wear far less than I am comfortable with, and really, I do my best, but yes, well.
Do you ever find yourself in say the steamier realms, as you will?
Oh yes, quite frequently. I am good friends with Lord Bobbins, who runs a marvelous expedition every year called TeslaCon. So I run the tea room for him.
Oh, that sounds fabulous. What is that like?
Quite fabulous. So imagine being at a great fair combined with a murder mystery dinner, but it's steampunk themed, and there are good guys and there are bad guys, and there's an overarching storyline, and people choose their own factions and run about, and I serve tea to everyone.
That sounds so fun.
Oh yeah.
Well, so you're the hub of all the good gossip. You are the hub of all the good gossip, and you've been holding out on us now. Now we know.
No, I haven't been holding out. I've been waiting, madam. Your Highness, I would never dream of interrupting you.
Oh, my goodness. Well, is that a very polite way of saying I talk a lot?
No, not at all. You had many things to explain, madam, and they were all quite important.
Oh, you are too kind. Too kind. Oh man. Oh, so I might I ask one more question? It is, what is your favorite realm that you have ever been to ever in all of your travels?
Oh goodness, that's sort of like asking someone what their favorite child is like. Goodness. There have been so many that I love in different ways for different reasons. I have loved the Old English Fair at Stronghold in Oregon, Illinois, because then I get to be, my previous self as Helen Tetley, servant to his lordship, and help keep the kitchen run in the manor for the autumn hunting fest. And also out at Bristol Renaissance Fair, always delightful. And of course, the TeslaCon and the steampunk festivals. Those are grand fun, mostly because there's air conditioning.
That's important.
And indoor plumbing. I'm rather fond of indoor plumbing, That's quite the advancement. But yes.
A lovely innovation.
Yes. But I do love all of these shows that I do because each and every one is special in its own way. And I really can't choose.
Well, I appreciate that you at least gave us a good smattering of options that were ranked high on your list.
Oh yes.
Your
and
top
course,
3, yes.
If you have ever been to Bristol, you will have met the Fantasticals, which are members of your realm. And they do travel about quite freely there, and they're most amazing.
I have not been to Bristol, although just not last year, but the year before. Last year was the first year it saw this. So the year before I came into possession, I acquired myself a snailer, a brand new to me snailer. And so which is my snail shell that I can travel with and of course, sleep within it and whatnot when I go abroad. And so what I have wanted to do is to go far and wide beyond my kingdom and beyond Pacifica and into I've not. So I think that your area where you are at is what we would call shimmering waters, and I'd have to consult my map to be 100% of that, but that's kind of from where we are in the Kingdom of Storms, and then we have going through what humans call Montana is the Kingdom of Big Sky, and then that's the Kingdom of Grass where I was saying my friend with the lovebirds is, and then if you go east of there, you go into Shimmering Waters. And
I think one of the other names for it should also be Land of Cheese and Bratwurst, because that seems to be quite the thing.
Land of Cheese and Bratwurst sounds like the place I need to go for lunch.
Well, yes.
So I kind of want to, I've been to some, like up in the Kingdom of Apples, and that's where the Big Apple is. And I've been to the fair there. And, but I kind of want to just do this circuit of some of the others. Isn't there in I never say it correctly, Muskogee?
Muskogee. Yes.
Yes, I never say it. Muskogee. And I know a gentleman, very tall gentleman named Harley LeQuinn. And he's a tall man, and he has a Harlequin shirt on, and he is very magical with bubbles. Actually, he blows the bubbles and then he catches them in midair and freezes them in his hand so that you have a solid bubble to take with you, so that when he's very tall, very lovely, and he goes there, has been a regular there. And then also I think I know a fairy bard named Alexander James Adams, who I think the fairy minstrel, and I believe that he also goes to Muskogee. So that's a big one too. It's permanent, right? With it has managed the magic of manifesting permanently in the human realm. So it doesn't just appear for the weekend, like the circus and up with the tents and down with the tents, right?
Yes.
So is that how Bristol is? Is Bristol always there?
Bristol is always there. It is a fixed point in time and history, as a fellow would say. So the the buildings are always there, and the grounds are always there, and so is the magic.
And so that implies that they have some kind of a secret device, a secret item that's a magic item that keeps them anchored in time in that one spot.
No, it's just, well, I do believe most of that is attributable to Her Grace Elizabeth, first of the name, God save her, because she is quite the powerful and magical individual.
Yes, that is definitely true. And well traveled, I must say. I have met Her Majesty.
She is quite the formidable presence, yes.
That is definitely true. Humans and their strange customs and ways.
Well, yes.
So we have overrun ourselves a little bit, which is a thing that we had said. Yes, Now, there was one other thing that we had discussed, and so since we're all here, I figure we can bring it up. So here we have manifested ourselves. We've all come together in this virtual realm via our magic mirrors, but we don't have a name for what to call this little gathering place of ours. And last night when we discussed, we sort of built a list, and I thought that it might be nice to actually allow those who are joining us from the far side of the hedge in the human realm to vote on. Yes,
Yeah.
and we also can all cast votes as well. There's no reason we cannot have a vote. So, but I was going to summarize the names to make sure I had them all. And yes, and I have a pen. So if there was one that or if anybody has any suggestions that they would like to transmit through to us, then they can make those suggestions in the comments and we can add them to the list. And then I can put a vote up for us either in the hollow or across the hedge or on the community tab here on the YouTube portal, or all three. I've done that before as well, and also on the Twitters, and then tally all of the votes at the end. So here is the list of potential names for where we are currently all gathering here in the virtual realm. We have the Fairy Ring Cafe. We have the Toadstool Tea Room. We have the Fairy Ring Tavern. We have the Butterscotch Flop House. We have the Pegasus Bar and Grill, although I don't feel like I'm at a bar and grill, I will be honest. I think that this one was your suggestion. Words. This one was your suggestion. You know, sometimes you would think that I don't actually ever read books out loud or do a lot of talking with the way the words just mush.
Who actually can do that to you?
Yes. Oh dear.
Salud.
It's Hollandial Grove. Have I said that correctly?
Hollandial. Yes, Hollandial Grove.
Hollandial Grove. Okay, which I actually think sounds quite pretty. And Rainbow Rays Sunroom. And I see one in the chat for the Hall of Mirrors. Let's see. Where's I have a pen here. So we'll add Hall of Mirrors to our list of potential names. We are yes. Hall of Mirrors. Thank you so much for that, Nicodemus. Now, do you guys recall anything from last night that I've missed?
No.
Those are all really lovely names.
Ooh, we have the Howling Grove is a suggestion from Shika.
Oh.
Do you prefer Shika or Jaroki? I don't know if I'm saying those right.
But isn't that done at 8 p.m. local time, where everyone's supposed to go outside and howl?
Yeah. Oh.
What? What are you talking about?
Yeah. Yes. Please, Stormy.
Oh, it's a thing that's been trending with the isolation stuff. You go out at 8 p.m. at night and howl, and like you can hear other people howling around the neighborhood. It's so cool.
I'm going to howl.
Yes.
I did not know that. So this is in the land of real. This is trending in the land of real.
Yes,
is this
is
howl?
trending in land of real. Yes.
Came up with something fun.
Oh my gosh, I am. Okay, if you guys
It's
all
remarkably
pinky swear to
therapeutic.
go howl tonight, I will pinky swear to go howl too.
Yeah.
And
I am definitely going to go howl. Yes.
Okay, I pinky swear. Here's my pinky.
Pinky.
Yay! I pinky swear to go howl tonight. I may not hear you, but we will be howling under the same moon, and that will just make my heart happy.
Pinky has wiggled.
And it is a full moon this evening as well.
No,
which makes it all the more magical.
Oh, I love it so much. Okay, the howling, it was I'm The Howling Grove. That's what they called it. And we have the tea cupboard.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, that's adorable.
It is.
Oh, last night I did suggest the sploosh simply because we're spilling the tea.
The sploosh.
Like the sploosh.
I love to say that word.
Sploosh.
The splooshin' spoon. Let's see. We have Enchanted Tea Party. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I am so doing this howl thing. I am so excited for that now. And it's at 8 p.m. Is it
8 p.m. your time. 8 p.m. local.
Yeah.
Oh, so
8
how
p.m.
does
local.
everybody howl at the same time? Or is it just that it's supposed to sort of be a
It's
wave of
supposed to
howls across the world?
way across the world, this wave of howling. Yes, 8 p.m. local.
My neighbors, I mean, I suspect that well, I have one of my magical abilities is that I can be very loud. And so my neighbors can hear me from afar if I really try. And I'm sure that to some level or degree, they will just not understand. But then to another, they will just think to themselves, "Oh, that's the fairy," and then they will let it go because
our neighbors are used to unusual things happening because I live with an artificer and he made a fire cannon, and that got the entire neighborhood out there marveling at how awesome it is to shoot fire up multiple feet into the air.
Amazing. Oh my goodness.
I confess that I do like fire and sparks and bonfires and wood smoke and all of the fun lighty up things. And I'm very good at exploding things. I'm also very good at catching things on fire. I think we discussed it. I don't know at the last Fae News or maybe the one before. We were discussing my unique talents to set things on fire and how that is actually a boon in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
Your Highness, I shall have to introduce you to the artificer that I rent rooms from, because he is quite good at setting things on fire and blowing them up, and does so on a regular basis, much to the consternation of the neighborhood and the amusement of all of the children in the neighborhood.
The whistling teapot, that's a cute one. Okay, so I'm sort of keeping one eye here on what the folk in the audience are suggesting. There's so many good suggestions. We're gonna have a long list. Right now, I was going to say you must bring this artificer of yours around. Perhaps next week we can have a room for a special guest.
I will see if I can convince him to join me. He does have duties during the day.
Ah, yes. Well, there is always that. So
yes, and
one
right
must
now, especially, a talented artificer is in high demand, repairing the things.
Yes. So it is a strange time, but I think it's also. I guess that when I hear people talk and sometimes people seem so down and there's a lot going on, especially, with the way that the human world, in our magical and enchanted realms, we to some degree are so much more accustomed to bartering for many of the things that we receive. We don't quite do, we don't quite do currency, as it were, for everything. Of course, if you want to wheel and deal in the human realm, sometimes you find, humans that will barter, but most of them, they want their green leaves, right? In payment for things. And this whole time is just so uncertain for so many of them. But at the same time, I feel, even though that this is a really difficult time, I feel like it's it's sort of how did somebody say, I heard the other day, a force reboot? Does that mean something?
Yes. Hard
It's
reboot.
Yes. And I see so many good things also happening and coming of this. Almost like everybody has been shaken and waken up, and we've slowly been going toward it. And now here I feel like people are coming out. They're being whoever they want to be. They realize suddenly that they can go to work in their pajamas because they're at their homes. They're inside wherever their cave or their home or whatever they call it is. And they are because things are not traveling quite as fast from the land of Amazon. They are looking to smaller people and businesses to find the things that they need. And then you see so many good deeds where glass blowers are making pieces for medical machinery that are in shortage, and seamstresses and tailors are making the masks, just like the fairy queen down in Pacifica, who we're giving the Uplift award to today. It's like just so many good things. And I just feel really positive that that's going to remain, that those things will continue after this. I mean,
they're never going to take things for granted again.
Those things will continue as long as we take the deep collective breath and say, we have found this thing of value.
Yes.
I am not letting it go away ever again. Yes. I have refound my joy of letter writing. Oh. Since I cannot visit my friends in person, my fountain pens are getting a workout again. So
I am a fan of the fountain and quill pens myself. I was just talking to somebody else about that the other day. But yes, letter writing. Well, perhaps we should exchange a letter at some point.
Ooh, that would be fun.
Or at least a card, right?
Yes.
But yeah, so I don't know. I just really like I see people saying things like when this is all over, I'm just going to go hug everybody, that wants a hug, right? No force
I've had
hugging.
people suggest things which were a little bit more aerobic than just a mere hug, so I shall be stepping back a bit.
Oh my. There is that.
Goodness, yes.
No, I don't know. So I guess that I just, to some degree, I just feel like we're entering and this has happened before in history, right? This has happened before in the past. It happened with it happened with the 1920s.
Yes.
In the Great Depression, I think they call it, with the stock market crash. Do I have that right?
Yes, yes. The American Great Depression, yes.
Yes, because sometimes mortal history is more vague to me than our own folklorish history. So, but as I understand, after that, right, and there was just a lot going on, and there was also a war, a human war prior to that, and a human war on the heels of that. And the result of that was that Justinian has disappeared. We have run over time, and I've just been talking, and I apologize. I'm probably talking your ears off and should let you guys go. But I guess that as a result of that, though, that humans kind of they really had they valued things differently, and they hid money in their mattresses and other such strange things. And a small part of me feels glad that if we're all experiencing that sort of thing again, that it's not because there's been a war on either side of it, and it's not because of some huge great depression that we're experiencing. We're getting to to remember, right? A catalyst has caused people to start getting out of their complacency without all of the harm, that
Yes.
And so I don't know. I feel like there are definitely bright sides, and I like to focus on them.
And as I do remember, I read in the late 1500s, 1549, 1550, when the first global pandemic made its way across the world with the great mortality, the Black Death.
Yes.
After that happened, it was a massive change in society, and it led to the Renaissance, which was an
which then led to the
relevant,
Enlightenment period, right?
Exactly, yes. But still, it's, getting to it is the frightening part. And I think if we provide the support and love and comfort that is necessary to get as many people through this time as possible, then we have done, at least in a small part, a good thing.
Oh, I see Justinian back in there. Hi, Justinian. Okay, I'm going to bring you back.
Ha! There he is.
There you are. Welcome back. There's a reception there in the goblin realm. There are many layers to go through, right?
Did you have to pop out for a moment?
Too many spider webs, I tell you.
Oh.
Now, there is a difference between spider webs and cobwebs, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have managed to gather through the silky threads of the worldwide spider web, but cobwebs are the thing that are in the corner that you brush out with a broom.
Yes.
Makes for good cotton candy, though.
It is in the same way that jackalopes are not the same as dust bunnies.
True.
Although I wonder, do you get dust bunnies in your ears? Oh, sorry. What did you say, Stormy?
I was saying I'm going to need to step out here in a minute.
Okay. Why don't we bid good day to one another? Because it's gone over. So.
I could definitely spend so much time talking with all of you because you're such delightful beings.
This was fun.
Well, 2 Tuesdays from today, and we shall gather again.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a name. We'll have a name for our little gathering spot here where we spill the tea.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you so much, you guys, for coming. And I'll put the vote out, and hopefully I'll see you on Saturday across the hedge at the Beaster Market and Glow Garden. So for the egg hunt. Yes, looking forward to that. So bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
And I'm pushing the button. Yes. Okay. So